Know that when the Miami Marlins come to town, they bring one of the most feared sluggers in the game with them, Giancarlo Stanton, a three-time All-Star. It'll be up to Jeff Samardzija to control Stanton and be the Giants' stopper, and he could be the right man for the job. He's had great success against the Marlins throughout his career. Game 1 next. The crowd is gathering at 24 Willie Mays Plaza. Marlins, Giants, the start of a weekend series coming up. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Welcome to Giants baseball. And for the Giants, hard times. 5 straight losses. They've lost 8 of their last 9. And one thing that is becoming all too consistent for the Giants, a lack of offense.
Well, and they're all cold at the same time. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but it's happening right now. The Giants are starting to get Matt Duffy heated up. Angel Pagan really has been the most consistent hitter in the Giants lineup. But right in the heart with Hunter Pence and Buster Posey and Brandon Belt, very quiet. They need to ignite. Nice part about tonight's game is Jeff Samardzija has had good numbers lifetime against these Miami Marlins. But I think the key tonight is he's got to put some early zeros on the board. A struggling offense, I think it's important that the starting pitcher finds a way to relax that offense, and you do it putting some early zeros on the board.
Little change in the lineup. Buster Posey back in there, but hitting cleanup, and Matt Duffy is in the number 3 spot. He's the guy who's started to swing the bat well. Stay tuned. We'll take you to the CSN Bay Area studios for more on tonight's game right after these messages.
It is Marlins, it is Giants at AT Park, the start of a 3-game series. The corner of third and can. Welcome inside our CSN studios. Ahmed Fareed here, along with Sean Estes. Sean, they've lost 5 games in a row now, 8 of their last 9. It's a team that many picked to win the division. You surprised that they've struggled so mightily here in the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I am. I am surprised that, the losing streak they're on right now, for sure. I mean, considering how great of a start they got off to. I mean, the first week of the season, they were tearing the cover off the ball, hitting home runs, scoring a ton of runs, winning ball games, went 6-2 to start the year. I expected more 500 ball at their worst, but, you know, losing games like this, I didn't expect that at all. And right now it's coming because they haven't been able to hit with runners in scoring position as of late. They haven't been pitching as well. I didn't expect to see Romo and Contos go down so early in the year, which thins out their bullpen. So yeah, there's a lot of things right now that aren't trending upward, more trending downward right now for this club. But the good thing is the Diamondbacks are gone, which is the team they really have struggled with here at home. And the Marlins are coming in, and that's a team right now that it's not a great team. It's a team that you should beat.
Offensively, they need some inspiration. Maybe they can get it from just looking at the other dugout and seeing Barry Bonds over there. Although it will be strange, Sean, to see him with a Miami Marlins hat and uni on.
It really strange. I mean, the first time, well, he was with the Pirates in 1992. That's the last time that the Giant fans saw him in a different uniform outside of the San Francisco Giant uni. And maybe we see him in a Giant uni at the end of this homestand if this offense doesn't pick it up a little bit.
In the lineup.
I love Bam Bam, though. Don't get me wrong. I love Bam, and I'm just joking. We're probably more likely to see Barry Bonds in a Giant uniform in the Giant lineup, considering I heard he could still hit a little bit.
Right.
He challenged a bunch of the guys to a home run hitting contest in spring training and actually won the home run hitting contest, so he can still get it done. So I saw him on TV a couple times, and he's smiling, having a good time, seems to be enjoying his new gig.
He'll be cheered. I don't think anyone will boo him at AT&T Park unless the Marlins maybe sweep the Giants and continue that losing streak. Sean Estes breaking it down. He'll continue to do that immediately after the game. We're back here on the CSN Bay Area, so we will have all the coverage coming up after the game on NBC Bay Area. Miller and Kruko right after this.
skid, and they're looking for that elusive big hit to snap their losing streak. Tonight, they begin a 3-game series against the Marlins, and they're going to try to turn their struggles at the plate around. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez, and Barry Bonds is back in the house. You know, all eyes are going to be on him. It's the first time fans are going to see him in a uniform other than a Giants uniform here at AT Park. He addressed the media before the game about his return home.
It's like a childhood dream. You know, like I said, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be in the outfield with Willie Mays and my dad and be a Giant. And I had that opportunity, and I got to play left field. So I got to play against the ghosts of my idols my whole entire life. And, you know, there's no better story for me right now. You know, here in San Francisco, the city, like I say, I don't really have fans in San Francisco. This is my family. This is where I was raised. This is where I grew up. These are the people that, you know, stuck behind me through thick and thin. And you know, so I always will appreciate that and always have my love for San Francisco.
Well, Barry got a taste of coaching back in 2014 when he served as a guest coach for the Giants at spring training, but coaching full-time, that's a whole nother deal. The transition from player to coach. Here's what he had to say.
Well, you have to. It's a learning experience between us all. You know, I walk in here, some of these guys watched me when they were small and stuff, and they don't know what to say to me, you know, and how should I ask them this? And, you know, a lot of guys want this quick fix, you know, Barry's here, we can fix it right away. And, you know, baseball doesn't work that way. You know, it takes a learning process for us all. We have to learn each other. Every day we have to go through our trials and tribulations through this, and we have to go through our bumps and bruises and ups and downs and see what little pieces work for us both. I don't have to go out there and perform it. You know, they have to go out there and perform it. It's my job to help them do that. We're all different people. Everyone has their own ability, and you just try to improve their ability. You know, I can't expect them to see the things I see. Some may not. But the best thing is to take whatever they have and try to improve that the best that you can with them.
Well, how much of an impact did Barry Bonds have? No one has worn his jersey number 25 since he left the San Francisco Giants. All right, Jeff Samardzija on the hill, Matt Duffy batting third. John and Mike have the call. First pitch lineups right after this commercial break.
cool evening here at the ballpark as the Giants have already taken the field. Let's take a look at the Marlins batting order. Brought to you by CSN Bay Area and NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network. It'll be D. Gordon at second base, JT Realmuto the catcher, Christian Yelich in left field. He's one of the Marlins who's really hitting the ball well right now. Giancarlo Stanton, the young slugger, right field. Justin Bour, who wore the Giants out last year at first base. Marcell Ozuna in center field. Derek Dietrich is at third base hitting seventh. Adeiny Echevarria is the shortstop, and Jared Cosart the pitcher batting ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the big right-hander Jeff Samardzija, 6'5", 225-pounder. Samardzija, 31 years of age. He's in his 7th year at the big league level. 2014 All-Star. When you take your bats against Samardzija, you're going to see a fastball that can go 92 to 97 miles per hour. He can sink and he can cut it, and that cutter's been really effective lately. He also has a slider and a split. Lifetime against these Marlins, 3-1 with a 4.26 ERA.
D. Gordon takes a called strike, and we are underway. .58 degrees, the official game time temperature. D. Gordon, one of the fastest players in the game. And a foul into the crowd off to the left. He's way behind that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And the count is 0-2. And D. Gordon, who in his last year with the Dodgers really started to blossom, and he has become even better, especially defensively, since going to Miami. Hunter Pence, shallow right, 1 away.
Let's check out the Giants defensively tonight behind Samardzija. Starting in the Giants outfield from left to right, it'll be Pagan, Span, and Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford, Duffy on the left side. Panic and Bell on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Jeff Samardzija, 1 win, 1 loss, 3.72 ERA. And here is JT Realmuto. And that's the way he prefers to have it said. Matt Duffy, 2 down. So quickly 2 down in the Astros, the Marlins first inning, and here comes Christian Yelich.
It's one of the best swings in the game right here, Christian Yelich, and he's hot.
Yelich is 3rd in the National League in batting average at the start of the night, and 2nd in the league in on-base percentage. And that cutter, I guess, a little bit off the inside corner. 1 ball and no strikes.
I don't normally get too excited about tall hitters. Yelich is 6'3", but he's got a really good clue. Inside out swing, good average type of a swing. Gap to gap guy.
Brandon Belt, he'll take it himself to end the inning. A 6-pitch first inning for Samardzija. Now the Giants will be coming up. at AT Park. And they've got him down.
Yep, it's hysterical. It's official.
Here's the Giants batting order, brought to you by Audi. Visit a Bay Area Audi dealer today and get behind the wheel of the Audi model you've always wanted. It'll be Span in center, Panic second base. Matt Duffy, who has had 6 hits and 11 at bats his last 3 games, moves up to the number 3 spot at third base. Posey back in the lineup, the catcher. Belt at first, Pence in right. Crawford the shortstop, Jeff Samardzija the pitcher hits 8th, and Angel Pagan in left field batting 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Marlins will be the right-hander Jared Cozart. He's in his 3rd year at the big league level, 25 years of age. He's a big guy, 6'3", 205-pounder. You take your bats against him, you're going to see low to mid 90s with the fastball, and he will sink and cut it. He's got a good curveball. He'll throw a few changeups up there. Kind of a 2-pitch guy. And you saw his numbers. He doesn't have great command, and that's really what has been holding him back. They like his stuff. He just doesn't have great command with it. He is in 10 1/3 innings. He's walked 9 guys with 8 hits. That's 17 base runners. He's allowed more walks than hits.
And he immediately with a 3-0 count to Denard Span.
And he's got a good zone tonight. Ryan Gorman played umpire, is a good pitcher's umpire. I mean, I think of him as a low ball guy, but he'll call the high strike, give you a little more width on the outside to righties than lefties, but a good zone.
And a walk for Denard Span to start the Giants off.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Miami Marlins. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton. You've got really good arms at center and right, not much of an arm to left. Echeverria and Dietrich on the left side of the infield, Gordon and Moore on the right side, and Real Muto will be in the squad putting down the signs.
So here's Joe Panic down. By the way, Denard Span, that's the 10th time he's reached base in 20 plate appearances here since the Giants got home on Monday. A called strike to Joe Panic. Panic 242 with a 304 on base average. Tied for the club lead with 3 home runs. He and Trevor Brown are tied for the club lead in homers. No score in the game. Strike 2. Matt Duffy is on deck. Roberto Kelly flashing some signs from the third base coach's box. There's Duffy awaiting his turn. Bill Hayes coaching over at first for the Giants. And diving safely back is Denard Span. Span leads the club with 3 steals and 4 tries. Bruce Bochy. And the Giants trying to hit their way out of the slump. The offense has disappeared. Base hit. And Span is going to keep going. Stanton's throw offline. Denard Span challenged him, and he won. First and third, nobody out.
Well, we talk about the strength of the arm of Stanton in right field. It's a good one, and it's a bit of a gamble. A nice 0-2 base hit from Panic, but Span sees it, and he just says, I'm going for it. You talk about putting pressure on the defense in the first inning. This is how you do it. And the Giants come out on top. It's a great play if it works, but you don't want to ever make the first or the third out at third base.
Now Matt Duffy, and the Giants have set themselves up nicely here. Middle infield, double play depth. And it's 0-1. By the way, according to the MLB app, that base hit by Joe Panic left his bat at 106 miles an hour. That one is hit well. Deep right center, tagging up Span at third. And the Giants will go ahead. The sacrifice fly by Matt Duffy. 1-0 Giants.
The good hustle and anticipation from Denard Span turns into a run. Nice job on his part, and a nice situational bat from Duffy to put Giants up top early. And you're struggling, doing the little things right, that makes a big difference.
And you know, I think when you've got the speed, when that's your game, as it is for Denard Span, and the team is struggling, that's the time to take a risk on that kind of a play.
100% agree.
So here's Buster Posey, and the curve is in the dirt for ball one. That's a little jolt of adrenaline for the Giants right away. A 2-strike hit by Panic, and Denard Span taking the risk and going to third on that single. And now the Giants have a run home.
And I think Bruce Bochy is reinforcing that in that little discussion he's having with Span.
Off the glove of Dietrich, maybe off the body. Now Panic's going to go for third, and he'll make it without a throw. Man, that ball was smoked by Buster Posey, and Dietrich could not handle it.
Well, they ruled it a base hit. Official score that calls this a base hit. At some point in his life, played third base. He understands what a top spin one hopper is off of a power guy, and this just eats you up. I mean, I'll give Dietrich credit for putting a body in front of it. That's not easy to do. That was a bullet. And Joe Panic with that play right in front of him, he said that's an easy take to third base. They're always going to challenge Yelich in left field. He didn't have much of an arm.
So a run in, one out, runners at first and third, and here's Brandon Belt. Over the outside. The shortstop, Echeverria, is almost right up the middle. As you see Belt's numbers for the year, 3 homers, 8 batted in. Belt tied with Panic and Trevor Brown for the club lead with 3 home runs. And it's up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You see why the Marlins like this young arm. He's got lots of natural cut on the fastball. Just throw him out there and keep tweaking him until he gets command of the zone. Right now he doesn't have it, but he's got good stuff.
Center field, base hit. Belt muscled that one over the infield. Panic scores. 3rd hit of the inning. The Giants have a 2-0 lead.
And you look at that from center field, you think, well, gee, that pitch was up. Well, that's not a bad pitch to a left-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher with a cut. He's got a little bit of movement, just runs right at the bat, but Belt's so strong that he can fight this off, even though it's not up around the sweet spot, and still get it out in the outfield and get a base hit and give himself an RBI.
So Joe Panic ripped a 2-strike single to really fuel this rally. Now he has scored, and here comes Hunter Pence. And it's interesting, Pence facing Cozart, and their paths have crossed before. Pence and Cozart were traded for each other. Pence hits the deck on a curveball high and tight. When Hunter Pence went from Houston to the Phillies back in 2011.
Like a curveball just completely squirts out of his hand. Definitely not a purpose pitch. That was a mistake. He hit somebody. It's not going to be with a curveball.
Cozart was one of the players that the Astros acquired when they traded Pence to the Phillies.
Yeah, early in the game, you're trying to establish the feel of a curveball. You can do that. You can have it squirt out of your hand. That one did.
Two men on, 1 man out. And that curveball called a strike. He got the high strike from Brian Gorman.
It is kind of weird hitting against the guy you got traded for, or pitching against the guy you got traded for. It's definitely on your mind.
Pence behind in the count now. And that one cuts down in the way at 95 miles an hour. 2-2. And this, by the way, is the first time they actually have faced in the big league game, oddly enough. Jared Cozart and Hunter Pence. And it's 3-2.
I mean, that's natural cut fastball at 95.
Brandon Crawford is on deck.
Most cut that you see are guys that are trying to make the ball cut. This guy just pick it up and throw it like a rock, and it's going to cut at 95. See why the Marlins like him, Phillies liked him, Houston liked him.
And he went back to the curveball and walks him to load the bases with 1 out. Second walk of the inning allowed by Cozart. And the pitching coach, Juan Nieves, goes to the mound.
When the guy's wild, he doesn't have a feel of either one of his pitches. Like I say, he's got 3 pitches: fastball, curveball, changeup. He didn't throw me a changeup, and he's not getting him over the plate. There's not a lot you can do.
Before the game, Barry Bonds brought the lineup card out for the Marlins. Listen to the crowd. Got a lot of love bringing out the lineup card tonight. Hit back home in the Bay Area. So now here is Brandon Crawford. The Giants have 2 runs in, bases loaded, 1 out. It's low. That was the 21st pitch of the inning thrown by Cozart. He's thrown more out of the strike zone than in. You see Crawford's numbers for the year. Brandon has only 3 runs batted in. He got a chance to pad that total right here with the bases loaded. Ball 2.
$12 balls, 10 strikes.
The Giants have Posey at third, Belt at second, Pence at first. 2-0. In there with some cut at the knees, and it's 2-1.
You know, the problem too when you're wild, you don't get a lot of corner pitches. Umpires aren't looking for strikes. Pitching coaches come out, they start talking about what are you looking at? Are you keeping your eyes on your target?
Off the outside. That was a close one.
Well, if he'd have been throwing strikes, he probably would have got that pitch. It would have been a corner pitch, a pitcher's pitch. But when you're struggling and you're all over the place, you just don't have umpires looking for him.
Don
Mattingly, that's the look of concern right there.
Mattingly, the new manager, former Dodger manager. This one has not hit that hard. They get 1 at second, and not in time at first as Buster Posey crosses with the 3rd run of the inning. Pence out at second. Belt goes over to third.
You'll never see a guy faster down the first base line when he's trying to beat out the back end of a double play to get an RBI. Brandon Crawford just indeed beats it by inches. And watch him get down that line. This is a number 1 max effort.
So he gets credit for an RBI on that.
4-2 down the line. Well, he gets the run in and he keeps it going.
Now Jeff Samardzija, the 8th batter of the inning. Runners at first and third, 2 down. Dietrich, well done. The Giants are retired, but they get 3 runs, hoping that their offensive drought is going to end tonight. An excellent start. On to the second.
Roster move made this afternoon. They optioned outfielder Mac Williamson. They purchased the contract of and called up Connor Gillespie. Sound familiar? It should, guys. It's his second go-around with San Francisco. He was drafted by San Francisco in 2008, and then he went to the White Sox in 2013, and last year played with the Angels. He came back to the Giants this spring. He is very excited to be here. To make room for him on the 25-man roster, Ere Adrianza moved to the 60-day DL. John and Mike.
All right, Amy G, thank you. So Connor Gillespie is back in town, and the Giants like what they saw from him in spring training in terms of a guy who could play different positions but also be a strong left-handed bat off the bench.
Yeah, it's a veteran coming off the bench late to swing a bat, a guy who knows everybody in the league, and that's critical.
Here's power versus power. Stanton for the Marlins against Samardzija, and Samardzija, that little cutter right over the outside. 0-1. Stanton 3 homers, 10 batted in. Ooh, that was nasty, and the count is 0-2.
You know, we talk about the 4 pitches that Samardzija has. He's got the slider, or a sinker, a cutter, a slider, and a split. But of late, he's only had to throw the sinker and the cutter. He hadn't thrown many sliders or splits.
1-2.
But he hasn't had to because the sinker and the cutter have been that good. I mean, he's got high velocity movement. And if he holds it with a 2-seam grip, it's going to be movement that runs hard into a righty, away from a lefty, and the cut's going to go the opposite way, away from a righty into a lefty.
2-2.
And that's the cut. We were watching him throw cut in Los Angeles at 94, 96 miles per hour. I mean, that's so impressive.
3 infielders are swung over to the left side of second for the Giants against Stanton. Into the defense, Matt Duffy, 1 away. And that's 4 straight Marlins retired by Jeff Samardzija, who, by the way, is pitching at home for the first time as a Giant.
Now watch the movement run in to Stanton. Fastball, and it just bores in at the belt. Now that you're talking about a 5-inch movement. You really see it here, how this gets off the sweet spot and runs right up the bat. And just breaks his wood. I mean, it's what Samardzija has. Late finish. Good movement.
Justin Bour, and a slider in there.
One more look with 2-seam movement. Just get off the sweet spot. Get up to the thin part of the bat.
Shallow right, and Pence calls off Panic. 2 down.
Well, the Marlins here all weekend, and this Sunday, April 24th, first 7,500 kids 14 and under are going to get a Joe Panic backpack presented by C's Candies. So get your tickets at sfgiants.com/tickets. See you out here.
Is that the beer can regatta going tonight?
I think it is.
The South Beach Yacht Club out beyond left field here for years on Friday nights. They've had the beer can regatta, and the finish line is the entrance to McCovey Cove. This is Marcell Ozuna, and he has had a history of tormenting the Giants, and it was off to a really slow start this year, but hit a 3-run homer yesterday in Miami. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 2 down, nobody on. Ozuna is 0 for 5 against Samardzija, though, with 3 strikeouts. 3-0. The Giants are leading here in the second. Ooh. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That is the best slider that he has had since he has put on a Giants uniform.
And that runs off the inside at 96 miles an hour. 2-2. He took this one. Full count. Derek Dietrich is on deck. 6:05 first pitch tomorrow. Jake Peavy and Jose Fernandez matchup. Day game on Sunday at 1:05. Strike 3 called. And another perfect inning for Jeff Samardzija. Osuna goes down. Pagan coming up. TV only from Xfinity. Here's a name to put on the back burner. Phil Bickford, a right-hander, pitching for the Augusta Green Jackets. And so far this year, 1 win, 2 losses, 13 2/3 innings, 10 hits allowed, 24 strikeouts. That's the number that will jump out at you. Almost 2 strikeouts per inning. And he's only walked 24 strikeouts, 4 walks. 6 feet 4 inches tall. The 18th overall pick in the first round of the draft last June for the Giants.
That'll allow you to climb the ladder quickly.
Cozart and Pagan, and the count is 0-1. Angel Pagan hitting .328, .388 on base average. And the changeup off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giants with 3 runs, 3 hits in the first inning, plus 2 walks by Cozart. And Cozart threw 26 pitches in that first inning. 2-1.
Time now for our Toyota by the numbers. Angel Pagan National League rankings this season. Well, tied for first in runs scored, 8th in hits, first in average with runners in score position, 5 for 8. Toyota is everyone talking about Prius event, and everyone's talking Prius. Visit buyatoyota.com right now for deals on the totally redesigned 2016 Prius. You're a Prius guy.
Yeah, my wife Janine has had a Prius ever since the first generation. She hasn't been without one ever since. 3-1. And it's full count now, 3-2. Anytime one of the kids needed a car, she gave him hers and bought a new one.
Well, that's a pretty good plan right there.
So a lot of kids in our family getting really great mileage. That's a walk for Pagan to start the inning. The 3rd walk allowed by Cozart already. Pagan, you saw those numbers, leading the National League in runs scored. And that's what you want out of a leadoff man, except most of the year he's not been the leadoff man. He's been hitting 9th as sort of the second leadoff man. So in that regard, you'd have to say with those numbers that aspect of him hitting 9th has worked out very well. He has quite often been a leadoff man, as he was here in this inning.
Man, the leadoff has been so very important, especially with early runs in the game. You saw tonight Giants came into tonight's ballgame. They only score 4 runs total in the first inning all year. And tonight they put a 3-spot up there. So good sign the Giants are breaking out of it offensively.
Bernard Span led off that first inning with a walk. Now the bunt. Cozart, barehand pickup just in time. So Pagan moves over to second, and Span will get credit for a sacrifice. Although I think in a spot like that, when he's bunting, he first and foremost wants to get the base hit, because that's a big part of his game. Span, by the way, had 10 times on base in his last 20 plate appearances on this homestand, leading into that plate appearance. So his on base average has been on the ascent. Joe Paddock ripped a single to right his first time. And it's ball 1. Joe Paddock's batting average has been ascending as well. Now at 254. Curveball for a strike.
Nice 1-0 pitch. Really, Giants are not even concerned about the changeup right now because Cozart hasn't thrown it. And I think it's so important the first time through the lineup. You have to let that team know that all your pitches are working. You can throw for strikes. And Cozart has not been able to do that.
D. Gordon. Out number 2 is Pagan goes over to third base. Julie Inkster, the Hall of Fame golfer, 31 career LPGA Tour wins, 7 majors, and a great Giants fan.
Oh, she's awesome. Big hero of ours. She has done so many wonderful things for golf and for kids getting involved in golf. She's just a tremendous ambassador for golf and for the Bay Area. And she loves her Giants.
So here is Matt Duffy, and that's up and away. I had a chance to meet her down at Bruce Bochy's office before the game, and she is a huge Giants fan. Knows just about everything there is about the Giants ball club. Matt Duffy trying to get Pagan home from third. Duffy hit a sacrifice fly his first time, and now he's not jumping out of those pitches right now. He's taking those. He's got the count in his favor, 2-0.
When he gets hot and he's swinging the bat well, I mean, he really stays in the strike zone. And like a lot of hitters, when he goes cold, he starts swinging balls out of the zone.
Sprayed foul. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Giants hit some balls very hard in that first inning, even though they had only singles, but a couple of them were hit well over 100 miles an hour.
Psyched. Got a new hat, foul ball. Life is good.
Curveball is low. 3-1 with Buster Posey on deck. He's got 2 flaps and they're both down.
Yeah.
And it was free.
Yeah. That will not be the last time he puts his hat on. Some hats just define guys.
And that's really a good look for him.
Yep.
3-1 the count. Echeverria, he's one of the outstanding shortstops in the game. And the inning is over. Pagan is stranded, still 3-0 Giants. Samardzija will head back to the hill.
McDonald's. You can download the McD app on your smartphone for great deals on the food you love at participating McDonald's.
AT Park, the panoramic look from above the Giants garden out there. Organic garden out in center field. Derek Dietrich leads off here against Samardzija. Right over the outside for a called strike at 93 miles an hour. Dietrich hitting .385. He's a platoon guy. Primarily only plays against right-handed pitching. Duffy to the dugout, and yes. Well, fans, you know the San Francisco Bay Area is a place with awe-inspiring beauty. But did you know that at some point in history, every acre of open space, every yard of undeveloped coastline, every giant redwood, and even the bay itself had to be saved? Peter Coyote narrates a documentary about the untold stories of the people who saved our home. Bay Area Revelations, a passion to preserve. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. here on NBC Bay Area. And it is a remarkable story, or several remarkable stories. Check it out. 1 ball to no strikes to Adeiny Echevarria. On the outside, strike one.
Perfect cutter to 1-0 counts. He was so impressive in his start against the Colorado Rockies, and he just blew him away. We hadn't seen a start like that.
Duffy. Well done.
And what was so impressive about his start against the Rockies in Colorado was that he really just threw the 2 pitches. The fastball was sink and the cutter. And the cutter just chewed guys up. And that Rockies offense is not an easy offense to chew up anywhere, especially in Coors Field.
8 in a row retired by Samardzija. Here is the pitcher, Cozart. 3-0, the Giants lead. And it's the pitcher who gets the first hit for Miami.
That will not be the last hit that he gets this year. That's a good swing. And if you have to get in the stretch position for the first time of the night, do it with 2 outs. And that's what's going to happen with Samardzija right now.
Cozart is aboard. And now D. Gordon. He flied out to shallow right his first time.
National League batting champion last year. Gold Glover, Silver Slugger Award guy, All-Star.
And I think the Gold Glove part is the one that kind of shocks everybody, and it may be what he's most proud of, because of the conventional wisdom was he just wasn't a very good second baseman when he was with the Dodgers. But obviously he has worked very hard at his defensive game. Quick backhanded save there by Buster Posey.
Led all of Major League Baseball in hits. Led the National League in stolen bases. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that he didn't accomplish last year. What a player.
He hit .333. .58 steals. It's 3-0 now. First time out of the stretch for Jeff Samardzija.
Now, I've always believed the longer it takes you to get in the stretch, the longer it takes you to find a release in the stretch. Usually 3 or 4 pitches.
In there for a strike.
That really is one of the big reasons why you see a lot of relievers that just take the windup out of their game plan and go just completely every pitch out of the stretch. Worry about one release.
3-1 the count. Belt placed behind the runner at first. And he went up after it. Didn't get it. 3-2. And he is an aggressive hitter up there.
Well, it's a pitch you could throw up there with a 3-run lead. It is a good challenge. You don't want to walk him.
Cozart at first with 2 down. 3-2 the count. Cozart runs. And that's a base hit to left center. And overrun by Denard Span. And that's going to be an extra base for both runners. So a single and then an error. And there was no need for it. Cosart had already stopped at second base.
Little get it in challenge fastball. He insides out to left center field. And I just think that Span took his eye off the ball. So it winds up costing the Giants a couple of chunks at 90 feet. Puts both runners in scoring position here. Becomes a big at bat.
Single and then an error. And each runner is in scoring position now for JT Realmuto. And it's ball one. Realmuto grounded out to third his first time. And that is how he likes to have it said. Realmuto. And a foul ball.
Well, you've heard of the Muto. This is the real Muto.
So this is the real, not just the Muto, the real Muto.
And you have an open first base here with 2 outs. Normally you'd say you have a base to play with, but not with Christian Yelich on deck and Giancarlo Stanton backing him up. This is a guy that Samardzija needs to be aggressive with.
Got it by him. 1-2.
Good little cutter. Perfect location at the knees.
So this becomes a big confrontation here. A base hit could mean 2 runs. It almost surely would mean 2 runs with the speedy Gordon, the runner at second.
He's feeling it.
Two and 2.
Good 1-2 pitch. Take that slider off the strike zone away. And Realmuto, to his credit, laid off a pretty good teaser there. I think he's getting good coverage on the plate away. And if Buster Posey senses that, he'll call a pitch inside.
And a foul ball.
And there it was. You see a guy getting out there, and his bat head's going 6 inches beyond the outside corner. He's looking for something away. He's diving out there. And that's something that Posey's really good at, identifying in guys' approach. And when he sees that, that's like an invitation to go back in on the hands.
Samardzija getting the sign from Posey. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Here is Crawford, the long throw, just in time, and the inning is over. A threat for the Marlins, but no runs. Buster Posey coming up.
7th, 2007, when Barry Bonds stepped up against lefty Mike Bassick and did this. Hit home run number 756. It would move him past the great Henry Aaron. And that is our Jeep Play of the Game. Play of the Game brought to you by the Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 31 miles per gallon. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com for more information. He looks good, doesn't he?
They showed some of those highlights, such as that home run against Bassick. And then they showed Barry on the big screen out in center field, and the fans started cheering and chanting his name. And Barry came out and took a bow.
I miss that guy.
Provided a lot of thrills here, and with the stick before that. Grew up, of course, with the Giants. His dad, Bobby Bonds, played for the Giants when he first was brought up in the minor leagues. His godfather is none other than Willie Mays. And his dad, Bobby Bonds' great friend was Jimmy Davenport, who just recently passed away. The Giants held a memorial celebration here at the ballpark this morning, celebrating the life and times of Jimmy Davenport. And Barry, even though the Marlins got in late last night from Miami, he made a point of being there and regaled all of us with some stories about Jimmy Davenport and his dad. And check swing by Buster Posey facing Cosart. The count 1 ball 2 strikes. The Giants ahead 3-0. But I loved the way he put it, because Jimmy Davenport and his dad were such close friends. What did he say? Mondays they went fishing. Tuesdays they went golf. Wednesdays they went fishing.
Well, I mean, you could see him over at Half Moon Bay Golf Course. I mean, Bobby Bonds and Jim Davenport were fixtures over there.
Buster, it's a foul.
Lee Mullins, the pro, I mean, they were all great friends. And it was fun when you played together with Davenport and Bobby Bonds. I mean, they had this little thing going on where they would get on each other. And it was very entertaining through 18 holes. Just great friends. And that's what Barry grew up with, and what he was remembering today when he was telling stories about Jimmy Davenport. Barry brought up his mother, Pat, and Jim Davenport's wife, Betty. And Barry shed a tear or two.
Count. Curveball. Hanging high and tight. That got away from him. Full count. Well, he really shared some thoughts and some stories with everybody. And I think the morning was definitely there for Barry Bonds. He allowed himself to be vulnerable. 3-2 the count. Look out, another high curveball. It misses badly. And Buster Posey draws a leadoff walk. The 4th walk allowed by Cosart already. We're only starting the last of the 3rd inning.
Well, and every leadoff hitter that Cosart has faced, he's walked. That is not the recipe of success.
So now Brandon Belt will come up.
Up to the Giants to take advantage of it.
But I think Barry touched a lot of hearts there today. And the whole ceremony, which was put on by the Giants, was beautifully done. And the curveball up and away. Joey Malfitano was among those who spoke. Hobie Landreth, Bill Lasky, and several others. And Dwayne Kuiper, Mike Krukow. You guys told some great stories about Davy. And I think that was part of the aspect that was most fun. Jimmy Davenport was a fun person. There's the ball outside. 2-0 to Brandon Belt. Number 12, Jimmy Davenport's number, being worn by the Giants this year. Number 20, the number for Hall of Famer Monty Irvin, who also passed away before the season. That's a strike call to the outside. Gary Davenport, Jimmy's son, gave a beautiful talk. 2-1 the count. He missed it.
Good cutter down and in. The great nights that we would have with Jim Davenport would be when he would be sitting with his dear friend and best friend, Tom Haller, our general manager. And it was Haller as a GM who brought Davenport to be the manager in 1985.
2-2 the count. Strike 3 call.
So I do not think this was called on a swing. I think it was called on location. I really probably could have called it both ways. So the first strikeout of the night for Cozart. And I do indeed believe it was on the call, not the check swing.
So 1 out, and Hunter Pence will come up. He walked his first time, the first time he'd ever faced Cozart. Two guys who were involved in a trade for each other a few years back. First time they've ever faced here tonight.
Just to finish that point, John, with Tom Haller and Jim Davenport, many of my fond memories of those guys were, if you ask Davenport, tell us some stories about back in the day. He would, but if he was with Tom Haller would direct him. Remember the first game of doubleheader Philadelphia in 1960? Oh, let me tell you about that one right there. I was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts going to the second. And he would just start spinning off the game.
Along the right field line and foul into the crowd.
And the guy who was the biggest audience and who would laugh the loudest was Tom Haller. And then Haller would get him into another one. Well, how about that game 1 of that series in September in Los Angeles back in 1960? Oh, let me tell you about that one right there. I'll tell you. And it would go on one after another after another. And those two guys together were so entertaining.
Tom Haller's son was there today. Tim Haller.
Little Hatch.
And he fought off that curveball. Willie McCovey here tonight. Great Hall of Famer, 521 home runs. And he's here most nights at AT Park. And we're always thrilled to see him. Holding at first, Buster Posey. The ball blocked by Real Muto, the catcher. 2-2. Willie Mays was there. Orlando Cepeda was there today. Felipe Alou. Several former teammates of Jimmy Davenport were there today.
Jack Hyatt, Joe Amalfitano.
Don Carruthers played with him.
Jim Barr.
Bruce Bochy also made a point of being there, as did Brian Sabian, Bobby Evans. Now it's a full count. That's 59 pitches thrown by Cozart. There's Brandon Crawford. He's on deck. Cozart still has thrown more pitches out of the strike zone than in. Angel Pagan, who walked back in the second inning. Posey the runner at first. And Pence along the right field line. Fair ball into the first archway. Stanton digs it out. Posey will stop at third on a double by Hunter Pence.
Yeah, if you're a Giants fan and you're waiting for Hunter Pence to get hot, this at bat should get you pretty excited, because this was not a hanger from Jared Cozart. I mean, this is cut down below the knees, outside corner. And for the last week, I mean, that ball had been hit off the end of the bat. Here, even though that ball was on, outside, he didn't have a lot of lower body. He still got the barrel to the ball, and that's good plate coverage. And as strong as his hands are, he drove that ball the opposite way. That's a slump buster. That at bat.
And that's the first double of the year. But now with Crawford up and first base open, they're going to put him on and set up the double play with Jeff Samardzija, the pitcher, coming up next. And that's one of the risks I get when you hit the pitcher eighth. There are certain times where you wish that he wasn't hitting eighth. The dynamic kind of remains the same. The guy who hits in front of the pitcher will often get a walk intentionally in a spot like this, whether he's hitting 8th or 9th.
Especially when you have a season last year when you led your team in home runs. But I think it works when you have a pitcher that can swing the bat. Madison Bumgarner, Jeff Samardzija can swing the bat.
Samardzija grounded out to third his first time. Bases loaded. Middle infield, double play depth. There's one, and that's the only one. Well, Realmuto really wanted to turn that into a double play, but it took him a little while to get back to the plate.
For the game, Jeff Samardzija making a fan out of this guy. Said, hey, I got some body gloves for you. I think he was fired up.
So Samardzija hits into the force play, and now Pagan with the bases loaded. Pagan walked his first time. Giants have had so many base runners in these first 3 innings. He scored 3 runs. They lead 3-0. Strike one.
But that's a key. I mean, when you're struggling as an offense, you have to set up more innings. I think that's the goal. Get guys on. Set up an opportunity. If you don't get the big hit, all right, well, get them next time. But if you keep creating opportunities, sooner or later you're going to break through. It happened for them in the first inning. They have an opportunity to add on to it right here.
And Pagan has been excellent in his at-bats with runners in scoring position so far this year. Well, he got the changeup, chased it.
That's the first changeup he's thrown tonight.
Pence at third, Crawford at second, and Samardzija at first. Pagan quickly in a no-ball 2-strike hole. Jose Urena, a right-hander, warming up in the Miami bullpen. Back to the curve in the dirt, but taken by Pagan, blocked by Realmuto.
Nice 0-2 pitch there. A lot of pitches out of the stretch. Just about his whole night has been out of the stretch position.
This will be his 69th pitch of the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tried that little backdoor cutter. Not quite.
Yeah, he was walking off the mound.
But he had one similar to that to Brandon Belt that got called a strike.
This is just a bit outside, says Brian Gorman, plate umpire. Perhaps a bit high, although he will call a belt high strike.
Bernard Span on deck, hoping to bat in this inning. Pagan trying to knock somebody in here. One or several. He was behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Now it's 2-2. Pence at third, Crawford at second, Samardzija at first. Now it's a full count. There's Bernard Span. Hoping for a turn in this inning. So a very big pitch now. There's nowhere to put him. Bases loaded. He's already walked 5.
Marlins completely give the right field line to Pagan. You can see Stanton, the right fielder, takes away the gap in right center, but they really give him room down the line.
The runners will be taking off with this pitch. There they go. And right down off his foot. Ouch.
Fastball with a little cut. Watch the back foot. Ooh. Well, it just comes up, actually hits him in the shin. So maybe the foot survived it, but nevertheless, Schinberger, you don't expect to have in your back leg.
So still 3-2. They'll try it again. Pence, Crawford, Samardzija. The runners. There they go. And off his foot again, or his leg, or
may have got his front foot or leg there.
He's paying the price this trip to the plate.
All right, here we go. Double shin burgers. Now, I've never seen that.
Oh, man. Three men on, 2 men out. The 3 runners take off. And right to D. Gordon. Very similar to the shot that Willie McCovey, who's sitting just down the way from us, hit to end the 1962 World Series. On to the 4th inning. Yelich and Stanton coming up.
Documented very well the return of Barry Bonds, one Giants player. Very glad to see him come back to AT Park. Matt Cain. Matt Cain is actually the only remaining Giants player to have played with Barry Bonds. He told me that he was only 20 years old in 2005 when he first came up with the Giants, and Barry was like an older brother to him. He said he learned a lot from Barry, especially about discipline and how he approached the game. He said he's never seen anyone be more prepared and know their body better than Barry Bonds. And Matt Cain was very grateful for all the time he got with Barry. Gentlemen.
All right, that's a cool story. Matt Cain. And I hadn't realized that Cain was the only guy still with the club who actually played with Barry Bonds.
Well, Lincecum no longer with the club, so that leaves Cain as the guy.
Christian Yelich leads off for Miami. 4th inning, 3-0. The Giants lead. 1 ball and no strikes. Yelich grounded out to Belt his first time. In there for a called strike. 1-1 the count. The Dodgers are playing in Colorado on the out-of-town scoreboard, leading 5-4 in the last of the 7th inning. Kazmir started that one. It's a bullpen game now. And Jonathan Gray, just back from the disabled list, made the start for Colorado. Nolan Arenado has homered for Colorado. Corey Seager and Adrian Gonzalez have gone deep for LA. Here the Giants have a 3-0 lead. Now Don Mattingly's coming out.
Now, Mattingly's been on Gorman. I don't know if he got run out of this game or not. And he got run. I mean, that was kind of under the radar the way Gorman got him. So Mattingly's coming out and he's saying, you're getting his money's worth, I guess. Managers will be in a constant dialogue with an umpire during the course of a ball game. And Mattingly's certainly no exception. And there comes a saturation point, especially with an experienced umpire like Gorman. He had enough.
Tim Wallach is the bench coach, just as he was when Mattingly managed in LA. So we would anticipate that. And we're assuming it's Mattingly who was ejected. But Wallach, I guess, would become the acting manager with Mattingly out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Christian Yelich. And that is a foul out of play.
I can't imagine what he'd be yelling at. I mean, the second strike of the at-bat was a swing through strike on a slider down and in.
We didn't even know there was anything going on.
No. Perhaps it may have had something to do with the bottom of the third.
1-2. Off the outside. Giancarlo Stanton on deck. That's into the gap in left center field. And Yelich is going to get extra bases on this one. He's got speed, but he'll pull up at second with a double. And Span gets it back in.
Really nice swing and a nice 2-strike at bat. Really stayed inside that ball well. I mean, this is the kind of a swing that allows a guy to hit for average. And a lot of people in Miami think someday this guy's going to lead the league at hitting. And you don't often say that about a tall hitter. I mentioned earlier, he's 6'3". The tall hitters usually have longer arms, and it's very difficult for tall hitters, generally speaking, there are exceptions of course, to hit for average. But he's a guy that can do it. You can see why in that 2-strike swing he had there to get the double.
So now Giancarlo Stanton, who grounded out to third his first time. Ooh. Big swing and a miss. 0-1.
You can almost sense that there was a little bit of wind that hit Samardzija in the forehead after that swing.
This one will stay in the yard. Span on the warning track. Yelich will tag up and go to third.
He just missed that thing. But you watch Stanton swing, and it's the thing that impresses you is how flat it is. I mean, that's right across the letters, and he backspins this thing, and he just gets a little bit of the ball, not a whole lot, and he still has enough power to take it out to the warning track in dead center. And he was walking out of the box measuring, thinking, hey, I got a chance on this one. Power of backspin.
And talking to his hitting instructor, Barry Bonds, afterward. Runner at third, Justin Bour, the infield in the overshift. And strike 1 to Bour. And you see how the Giants have 3 infielders to the right. And that's the second baseman, Joe Panik, out in right field. Only Duffy remains on the left side. Crawford, no. And the Marlins get their first run. Yelich crosses the plate. It's 3-1.
Give you an idea just how strong Justin Bour is too. Reaching, movement going off the plate away, no lower body, just hand strength, going right back up the middle, and strong enough to get it over the glove of Crawford. times it perfectly. He was about a ball away from getting that thing.
Marcell Ozuna, and it's 0-1. So a double by Yelich, the long fly ball from Stanton, getting Yelich to third. Now Boer with a single to get him in. 1 out of the inning. 3-1 Giants. And a foul. A little bit late in that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. By the way, you were talking about Giancarlo Stanton. Last year, he missed more than half the season with injury and still had 27 home runs. He had a broken hamate bone in his left wrist late June. Off the end of the bat, out of play. 0-2 the count. 27 homers. He had 279 official at bats. So he had the Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds kind of home run per at bat numbers.
Not even half a year, really.
74 games. 27 homers, about 1 homer every 10 at bats. A little bit high. The year before, he got hurt late in the year, just missed the last couple of weeks of the season, and hit 37 home runs. Played 145 games. Won the Hank Aaron Award for the outstanding offensive player in the National League. That is into right field, base hit. So that's the 3rd hit of the inning for Miami. And they have had, the last 7 hitters have had 5 hits. Going back to the 2-out part of the 3rd inning when Cosart hit a single, then Gordon singled. Muto grounded out. Now 3 more hits in the first 4 batters of this inning. And Derek Dietrich, a dangerous hitter, will come up. Echeverria on deck, and then the pitcher's spot, and the Marlins are going to get the bullpen going again. Dietrich fouled out to the 3rd baseman his first time. And it's very high, ball 1. Colorado has tied that game with the Dodgers at 5-5.
Saw Urena, the right-hander, heating up a second time. Get a guy up a second time, usually he's going to be in the game.
So Dietrich, who's had a hot bat going. Back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dietrich came into the game hitting .417 against right-handed pitching. Although overall he doesn't have that many at bats, period. Just married.
Oh, congratulations and best wishes, and I hope you like your hats. I think they do.
I think they love those hats. Back to the screen again. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dietrich.
He got no problem getting the second strike on these hitters. And on top of these guys, count-wise, all night long.
Samardzija, who threw 18 pitches in the 3rd inning. This will be his 19th pitch of the 4th inning. Giants middle infielders pulled in just a bit, double play depth, and Crawford shaded toward the middle at shortstop. 2 men on, 1 man out. Strike 3 called.
92-mile-an-hour paint outside corner to knees. Second strikeout. This is huge. Goes out and absolutely puts it in the glove of Posey, who frames it nice with his body. And the reaction from Dietrich. No, it is not. Serious business. Come on, you're killing me. No, I'm serious. You're out of here.
So now 2 down, and Echeverria, the catcher, the shortstop, comes up. Ball one. Bohr, the runner at second. And he is not a fast runner. Osuna, who runs well at first. Echeverria grounded out to third his first time. 3-1. The Giants are leading here in the fourth inning. This will be the 21st pitch of the inning, thrown by Samardzija. High stress inning. 2-0.
Well, that's not an open base either. The way that they're warming up Urena, I mean, Kozar, the pitcher on deck, I mean, he's not going to hit. So it's, do you want to face Echeverria or do you want to face Ichiro, who's probably going to be the guy coming off the bench to hit if the bases are loaded?
Ichiro is the only left-handed hitter available on the Miami bench. 2-0. A big pitch here with 2 men on. Way outside. 3-0.
Not happy about that.
Three balls, no strikes. Right in there.
Giants are wanting him to change that forkball into a circle change, and he's going with it. I mean, he presets that circle change in his hand now, whereas the first three starts he was setting the forkball.
And he swung at it, says Brian Gorman. A ball that ran right out of the strike zone. A lot of movement on that fastball at 94 miles an hour. Full count. So Bohr from second, Osuna from first, ready to take off. Samardzija ready. They go. Right to belt. Had that one planned out beautifully. Top of the order, Span, Panic, Duffy coming up. Third, the Giants will be honoring Matt Duffy with his first Major League bobblehead. The first 40,000 fans will receive the Duffy bobblehead courtesy of PG&E. That's a 6:05 start. Here tomorrow. Get your tickets at sfgiants.com/tickets. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Giants baseball on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network. Giants holding a 3-1 lead. They scored 3 in the first inning against Jared Cosard. And now they'll try and get some more here. Denard Span has walked and had a sacrifice bunt. Ball one. Span, Panic, and Duffy, the first three due up here in the fourth. Span has lifted his on base up to 319. And he has gotten on base 10 times in 20 plate appearances, not including the sacrifice bunt in the second, beginning Monday. And that's most of what hitting leadoff is about. Getting on base, setting things up. Just a little bit high.
Not much. Cozart wanted it.
Marlins got a run here in the first half of the inning. 3-1 Giants. Pulled sharply foul. Now 2-2 to Span.
The leadoff hitter in the lineup, it's, I think, the hardest spot to learn in the lineup. There's just so many things going on that you have to be aware of. Score, game situation. Can't be afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Got to be a good contact hitter.
Up the middle, base hit.
And a good 2-strike hitter just like that. Giants fans, did you know that NBC Bay Area recently improved its over-the-air signal so more people can tune in with antennas? Well, for instructions on how to rescan your TV, visit NBCBayArea.com/rescan. Check it out and tell a friend.
Bay Bridge all lit up tonight.
They will teach you how to program the Bay Bridge. Continual light show. I love the Bay Bridge in the nights.
It really is spectacular. We love being at that restaurant right on the Embarcadero, the water bar. And you look right out at the Bay Bridge from there. You see the ships going by and you see the light show on the bridge. So panic. Bohr gets one and only the one.
That's a pretty good play right there from Justin Bohr to even give that double play a chance. But right now it's time for our BMW Drive, the ultimate driving machine at Bay Area. BMW.com, May 10, 2015 against these Marlins. Mother's Day, Matt Duffy. It's a walk-off single off Steve Cishek. And the Giants scored 2 in the ninth to win that ball game 3-2. And that's our BMW Drive.
Well, Matt Duffy has started swinging the bat like that here in the last few days.
See the stretch from Cozart. I'm not sure how comfortable he was. Not used to stretching. No, he's digged up.
He's hurting. Urena has been up a couple of times in the bullpen. But it's all quiet out there now.
Great way to hurt your arm. You can't use your legs.
That's Tim Wallach, the acting manager, with Don Mattingly having been ejected. And on the right there with the clipboard, that's the pitching coach, Juan Nieves. Foul off the right field line. 2-1 the count.
Still trying to shake that off.
Well, he's going to lead off in the 5th inning where they could just pinch hit for him and then bring in a relief pitcher.
Well, and normally the Marlins have 5 extra on the bench. Tonight they don't. Martin Prado has left the club. And he has gone home because he and his girlfriend are expecting a child. So he is gone. They have 24 guys, 4 men on the bench, which is probably why they wanted to get through this inning.
So what we're seeing from him, maybe something bothering him in his leg. They're not seeing that.
Well, they're seeing it, but they know him. I mean, I think nobody knows a pitcher better than a pitching coach what his physical capabilities are. what he can pitch through.
He's fine.
He's not bleeding.
There goes Joe Panic, and the ball is foul off the right field line again. Almost back to the bricks. That guy he was about to jump on top of that guy to get that ball.
That's a penalty. That's 15 yards right there. All right, let's take a look. I got this one. Hey, all fair, love and war, and going after foul balls, I guess.
Definitely pass interference. 2-2 the count. Down the right field line. Foul. Well, he's getting closer. 2-2 the count to Matt Duffy. He's hit a sacrifice fly to right center, and he has grounded out to short. Giants ahead 3-1 here in the 4th inning. Buster Posey on deck. You see how they're playing it. The two middle infielders are both shaded toward the middle. Double play deck. Barry Bonds, the hitting instructor for the Marlins. Curveball along the right field line. Into the bullpen again.
There's a happy camper. Easy, easy. That's a Friday night high five right there.
Is that what? That's the Friday night.
Yeah, that's a Friday night high five.
Orange Friday high five. He got some high five hands. He got some high five caps.
That's a well-oiled high five.
2-2. That's a full count. Here's Buster on deck. This will be the 8th pitch of this plate appearance, seen by Matt Duffy. Panic at first. We'll keep an eye on him. He's running. Well, hit right there to second base where Echeverria had gone to cover the bag with the runner going, and the double play ends the inning. On to the 5th. Samardzija back to the mound, leading 3-1. PG&E's CARE program provides assistance on energy bills for qualified low-income customers. Learn more about CARE at pge.com/care. pge.com/care. PG&E, together building a better California. A cool shot there of the new tower on the Bay Bridge on the eastern side of Yerba Buena Island. Here is Jared Cosart to lead off, so he's still in there. Giants leading 3-1. And a fastball for a strike, knee high, right on the outside corner. Cosart hit a single with 2 down in the 3rd inning and created some difficulties for Samardzija when Gordon followed with a single. Matt Duffy in a hurry. Just got him. And Cosart really showed some speed there for a pitcher. Jimmy Davenport, they used to call him the man with the Golden Glove. He was a Gold Glove winner, and at one time really the best defensive third baseman in the National League, late 50s, early 60s. Couldn't have handled it any better than Matt Duffy just now.
Well, Jim Davenport has had something to do with every one of these Giants infielders. Belt, Panic, Crawford, Duffy.
Bluffing the bunt and then ready to swing, taking a strike.
So even though we have lost Jimmy Davenport, I mean, his teachings will go on for a long time with Giants players. And he loved it. He loved going down to the minor leagues and teaching it. And it wasn't just lessons about how to catch a ground ball, it's how to play the game, how to live your baseball life off the field.
Two and one the count to D. Gordon.
Yeah, he managed the 1985 Giants and left the organization, and Brian Sabian brought him back in 2006. And he always thought of himself as a Giant.
That's a foul out of play. Still 2-2. The moon is making its entrance. A very dramatic entrance at that, through the low-lying clouds toward the South Bay.
Friday night full moon. Gonna be a great weekend.
Wow. He swung and missed almost as that one was about to hit him. 2 down. He was number 12. He was the man with the Golden Glove. Jimmy Davenport, a rookie in 1958, the Giants' first year in San Francisco. And a great crop of rookies on that team. Orlando Cepeda, they're right behind him, was the Rookie of the Year that season. And many who were there recall that other than Cepeda, the man who made the most impact of any of those rookies in that 58 season was Jimmy Davenport. JT Real Muto with a count of 0-1.
Cutter at 91 is such a good pitch. I mean, in Real Muto's mind, he's thinking it's a fastball, and then he gets after it. And by the time he gets his barrel head out there, it's gone. Tried to back over the 95 two-seam movement, and he did not miss by much. That's one he wanted. That's one he wanted. Let's take a look at it again. You see that Posey sort of stretched the target. The movement just sort of comes right back, and all said and done, he didn't really have to move his mitt a whole lot. Pretty good 2-strike takes right there from Real Muto. You better have a good eyeball. You're taking those.
Joe Panic, shallow right field. And that's a 3-up and 3-down inning for Jeff Samardzija. Buster Posey, Brandon Belt, Hunter Pence coming up. 3-1 Giants.
home run memorable. Connor Gillespie, unforgettable. September 27, 2011. We're going to make it our Ford right choice for high quality, great MPG. Ford is the right choice for California. It came against the Colorado Rockies. He has a little slip up when he makes his turn around third. Oh, getting out of gas, running out of gas, but he makes it home. Slides in. I talked to him today about it. He said it actually seems so long ago, gentlemen. It was 5 years ago. He said so much has happened in his career. He's been with a lot of different teams, and he's very, very glad and grateful to get a second chance with the Giants. He said he's matured a lot in this game. It's a game that will humble you. Welcome back to Connor Gillespie, gentlemen.
All right, thanks, Amy. Here's a first-round draft choice of the Giants. First Giants player with an inside the park home run for his first career home run since 1996, when a guy named Dax Jones did it at the Vet in Philadelphia.
I remember that guy.
Buster Posey leads off against Cosart. The curveball in the dirt. Buster has ripped a single and took a bounce off the midsection of the third baseman Dietrich and into left field, and he has walked. 3-1, the Giants lead. And he clears him again. Brandon Belt is on deck. Hunter Pence due up third in the inning. And the foul ball. Picked up by Roberto Kelly, third base coach, and he tosses it to a fan. Souvenir.
That's how you make a friend.
Roberto Kelly. I love that guy.
Oh, yeah, she does.
That's a base hit. And it was hit very hard again by Buster.
So Posey now starting to climb up the ladder with the average. It's a 2-hit night for him. 2 hits and a walk, 2 knocks and a walk.
So here comes Brandon Belt now. Belt has knocked in a run with a single, and he's been called out on strikes. Giants have 6 hits, Miami with 5. High and tight. But the cutter and the count, 1 ball and no strikes. By the way, on the MLB app, the MLB at Bat app, they measured the speed of the ball off Buster Posey's bat, 107 miles an hour again.
Well, he's heating up.
That was extreme solid contact. He hit one at 107 miles an hour. Hunter Pence on deck. Shortstop Echeverria pulled well over toward the middle. That's going to fall. Base hit. Posey will stop at second as Ozuna hurries it back in.
Ozuna's not the kind of arm you want to challenge. He's got a good one.
And the Giants get consecutive hits to start the inning.
Yeah, Belt's got a couple hits tonight. I mean, both times he's lost his lower body in him, but he's been able to keep his hands back. And that's a good sign. You know, watch the lower body kind of go with the hands stay back. I mean, that's not a bad pitch. Head stays down through it. And as Jim Davenport would say, that's just a product of good hit.
So 2 men on, nobody out. Hunter Pence has walked and doubled down the right field line. Curveball for a strike. Miami bullpen will get going again. And it's Urena again. It's at least the 3rd time he's been up.
3rd hump of the night for him.
Jose Urena. Cozart with the barehanded pickup.
It's a nice play. I mean, think about this. Cozart's a right-hander. Now he's falling out towards the first base line. And he comes over to the third base line. Now watch, he falls off. Now he's got to get regroup, and now he slides into it to a bare hand, gets up, and it's not even close. This is just really a great example of his athleticism.
We've seen Pence beat out balls like that, or at least make them very close. Just a sensational play by Cozart, but it did move the runners up, and with Crawford up, first base open, they're going to walk him intentionally. Second time in a row that they've done this. Crawford came up with second and third, one out in the third inning, and they walked him.
But they're setting the table, and they're doing it every inning they've had men on base. And that's how you get out of a slump. You just keep setting the table. Sooner or later, you're going to break through. Sooner or later, you're going to break through 2 times, and pretty soon you'll have 3 or 4 innings you score on. And that's how you get out of a funk.
There's ball 4. So the bases are loaded for Jeff Samardzija. Here's Bochy. Some signals being sent out to Roberto Kelly. So Samardzija, the last time they did this, Samardzija bounced one just a few feet out in front of the plate where Realmuto, the catcher, jumped up out of his crouch, went out, got the ball, and then took it back and tagged the plate for the force out on Posey.
Well, defensively, the last time they set it up this way, pitching to Samardzija with 1 out, bases loaded, they played the corners in, anticipating that Samardzija just might try and bunt here to stay out of a double play.
Ball 1. 6 walks allowed by Cozart, although 2 of them have been intentionally given to Brandon Crawford.
Posey at third base does not have great speed. Average at best.
Bases loaded, 1 out. That's a base hit to right field. Buster Posey in to score. Belt will be held up. Stanton comes up throwing to the cutoff man Boer. And it's 4-1 Giants.
You have to have a pitcher that can come up with a hit like this if you're going to hit him 8th. They pitch him away. It's not a hanger. That's a little cutter off the plate away. If you try and pull it, you roll over. It's a double play. He goes to right field. Looked like that was his approach the whole time in the at-bat, and that's going to be the last pitch that Cozart makes.
The acting manager Tim Wallach takes the ball from him, and Jose Urena will be brought in for the bullpen. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Pagan coming up. Starting Monday night, the 25th, for a 3-game series. Monday and Tuesday, 7:15, and Wednesday, it's day baseball in the city at 12:45. That's Wednesday, the 27th. To get tickets to see the Giants and the Pods, Go to sfgiants.com/tickets. Bumgarner, Cueto, and Samardzija set up to go in those 3 games. 4-1 Giants. Last of the 5th. Bases still loaded. The new pitcher, Jose Urena.
Take a look at what he did last year. 9 starts. He was a swing man. 28 strikeouts against 25 walks. I mean, he's a sinker slider guy, but he throws hard. I get up there mid-90s and an occasional changeup.
By the way, I'm checking his bio, and they've got the tilde over the end, so it's Urena. Jose Urena from the Dominican Republic. The infield is in halfway up the middle, and some sink on that 95-mile-an-hour heater, low for ball 1 to Pagan. Urena, 24 years old, 11 relief appearances last year, 9 starts. Ball 2. Throws very hard.
Numbers last year, you saw his strikeout walk ratio about 1-to-1, and that's what you normally see with a sinker baller.
So big pitch for him right here against Pagan, who has walked and lined hard right to the second baseman. 2-0. In the dirt. Grabbed with a backhand snap of the glove by Real Muto. 3-0. The Giants with Bell at third, Crawford at second. There's Samardzija over at first.
Get a pitcher out there, you get a little wild hair up his nose. You're not going to get much help from Pagan, from Span, from Panic. These next 3 guys will get some pitches out of you. And Urena has not proven that he can get the ball across the plate yet.
And there's a strike. 3-1. Urena was just brought up from the minor leagues yesterday. He had a 6.3 earned run average in 3 starts for New Orleans, but did go 5 scoreless innings in his last outing against Omaha. 3-1. Base hit to right. So Belt will score. Crawford got a late break because he froze on the line drive to make sure it wasn't caught. So he stops at third. So Pagan knocks in a run. Another hit with runners in scoring position. And the Giants now have a 5-1 lead.
Well, Pagan worked it to a count. He had 3-1 leverage. You look for 1 speed, 1 side of the plate. Drops it right out over the middle on a tee and finds a hole on the right side. Now this is 2 outs. He gets 2 RBIs, but as you pointed out, Crawford at second base had to freeze. Make sure that line drive gets through the outfield, and once that happens, you just got too much of a great arm out there with Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton, he just can't challenge, not with 1 out.
Bases still loaded. Denard Span. And that's a strike.
And he'll make you work.
Denard Span has walked, starting a 3-run first inning rally, had a sacrifice bunt, and then he ripped a single to center his last time. So he's been on base twice in 3 plate appearances. Shallow left field, falling in front, base hit. Crawford scores. Samardzija to third on the bloop single. 3 consecutive base hits with runners in scoring position. As many as the Giants had in the last 5 days combined.
Now they've got to exercise the demon. They couldn't get a hit like this, certainly not with guys in scoring position. And this is not a hanger either. I mean, this got some hair on it, going the outside corner at the knees, moving away. He just throws a little dead bird out there. Not a whole lot that Yelich could do.
So 3 runs have scored in the inning, 6-1. The bases remain loaded, but Joe Panic, the 8th batter to come up. And it's 0-1. He changed up on him. 88 miles an hour. Joe Panic has singled and scored a run, grounded out to second, and grounded out to first into a force play. Ball and a strike. So now it's Samardzija at third, Pagan at second, and Span at first. And both Pagan at second and Span at first are speedy guys. So if Joe Panik could hit one down the line or into the gap, could be some action. 2-1.
Easy take there.
All of the runs in this inning charged to the record of the starting pitcher, Jared Cosart. And the runner at third, Samardzija's his responsibility as well. Urena has faced two hitters and given up singles to both. Now with a 2-1 count to Panik and a foul. 2-2.
Giants have had some great hitting counts in this game. We're talking about how do you get out of a slip as a team? You create opportunity, and they've done that in every inning. And they've been able to capitalize on in two. And it's been a while since they put up two crooked numbers in the same game.
2-2 to Joe Panik. Strike three called. So 2 down.
Now a fastball that kind of comes inside. Panik sees that as inside, and movement comes back to the plate. That's definitely a pitcher's strike. So Urena gets a bit of a break there.
So it leaves it to Matt Duffy. Bases loaded, 2 down. No swing, an appeal, and it is a swing. On appeal, Mark Carlson, the first base umpire, said that was a swing. So the count is no balls and 1 strike. Not the 1-0 that you see there, but 0-1. And the foul ball, strike 2.
Yeah, ball dude Ray Ramirez, fun to get some action. It's going Ray a bit. Steve Yanaga over at first base tonight. He's had a couple plays. Made a couple of friends. Giving foul balls away.
Duffy's had an RBI with a sacrifice fly. Has grounded to short and grounded into a double play. 3 men on, 2 men out. Softly hit. Echeverria got it. The Giants get 3 consecutive RBI hits from Samardzija, Pagan, and then Denard Span. It's 6-1 Giants as we go to the 6th.
California Association of Realtors. Champions of Home. Visit championsofhome.com. So the rest of this homestand starts tomorrow. The 6:05 game against the Marlins. You'll see that at CSN. Then Sunday, the finale at 1:05 game against the Marlins. So CSN. And then Monday, Tuesday, 7:15 starts, and you'll see that on CSN. And then the last game of the homestand will be against the Padres at 12:45 start. Again, you'll see it on CSN.
Well, there's the hack man, Jeffrey Leonard. This 2 flaps down cap is sort of based on the 1 flap down home run trot of Jeffrey Leonard several years ago. And he's here tonight and got a big ovation, as you saw. Fans touched his heart.
I think it's the happiest I've ever seen Jeff Leonard. And he has become a great ambassador for this organization. Does a lot of work in the community, a lot of work with kids.
Christian Yelich, and the slider in the dirt from Jeff Samardzija. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yelich hit a double into the gap in left center, leading off the 4th inning, and later scored the Marlins run. It's 6-1 Giants now as we start the 6th inning. Giancarlo Stanton is on deck. Very high. 2-2. The big hitters coming up in a row right here. Yelich, Stanton, Justin Bour, Marcell Ozuna. 6 runs, 10 hits for the Giants. 1 run, 5 hits for Miami. Down the left field line, it is a fair ball. He's going to get extra bases again. Pagan digs it out right next to the 339 marker. A double for Yelich. His 2nd in a row.
You can hit. Just stay inside. You watch how deep this ball gets in right off his back hip. And that's just a beautiful swing. And he's driving that ball the other way. Two hits tonight, both on the left side of second base.
Giancarlo Stanton is grounded out to 3rd and hit a deep fly ball to center. Ball 1, and I think Samardzija thought maybe that wasn't as high as Brian Gorman thought. Called a ball. One of the most powerful hitters in the game. And it's a foul. A ball and a strike to Giancarlo Stanton.
A little disappointed today, I'm sure, for fans to come to the ballpark. You usually get into the ballpark when the opposing team is taking batting practice, but there was no BP today because of the rain that we had here in the Bay Area this morning, and really denied all of us a chance to watch batting practice from Stanton. It's entertaining. If there's anybody on this planet that can hit the Coke bottle, he's the guy, and maybe even the glove. It's never been done before, but if it is going to get done, he might be the guy to do it. And we've never had a right-handed hitter hit a ball in McCovey Cove either, in the water. He could do it.
Ooh, off his foot. 2-2. Giancarlo Stanton, who is from Southern California, broke in with the Marlins in 2010. And he started hitting home runs almost immediately. He's hit 184 home runs. He's played a little over 720 games. Into the defense, the Giants had 3 infielders to the left of second. And Crawford, a little bit of a low throw, but Belt was able to dig it out. Yelich had to hold on.
And this is back in 2011 in batting practice when he was just flipping them out. This one here had some hang time on it. And that completely cleared the bleacher section and dropped the jaws of everybody else sitting around the cage or standing around the cage.
Here's Justin Bour. The Giants shift over to the right side now against the left-handed hitter. Three infielders to the right of second. Yelich still at second. One out. Too high. We'll see how they're playing it. The outfield is pretty much straight away. And only Duffy remains on the left side of the infield. Crawford's right almost up the middle. Bour hit a single to center just over the head of Brandon Crawford his last time. And that's out of play. Bour had a couple of home runs last year in Miami that just destroyed the Giants. One was a walk-off home run to beat San Francisco. He finished 5th in the league in Rookie of the Year voting. July the 1st, he had a 3-run homer to end the game against the Giants. That's a foul out of play.
Good changeup.
This was July the 1st.
Yeah, they set the target in the outside corner, and they're thinking if we want to miss, we want to miss away, and they did not. They left it out over the plate. And Bour, who had a great series against the Giants, made him pay.
It was his first career walk-off homer. And that's all for Bour. Could not catch up to that high, hard one.
Yeah, they perfectly placed above the hands, middle in. But I think if you're getting Bour out middle in, you made a great pitch. Right above the hands. Grab some pine meat. Just late.
So 2 down.
It's a manly strikeout right there.
Well done, Jeff.
Well, he took on his strength, middle in. And he elevated, and he just couldn't keep that top hand on it, but still, nice pitch.
So, I mean, that's your point, though, right? You have to have great stuff if you can do that.
You can beat a guy's side. And I do believe Bour's a middle in guy. If you could beat him on that side of the plate, you've made a great pitch.
Ball 1 to Marcell Ozuna, who hit a home run yesterday after a painfully slow start to his season. Tonight he struck out looking, and he is singled. Hitting only .211, but he hit a 3-run homer yesterday for the Marlins before they flew out here to San Francisco. Smash to Crawford. A leadoff double for Yelich, and then Samardzija runs the table. By Toyota. It's Toyota's Everyone's Talking Prius event. And everyone's talking Prius, Prius, Prius. Visit buyatoyota.com now for deals on the totally redesigned 2016 Prius. The moon starting to fade behind some clouds. You see the Giants with a 6-1 lead as we go to the last half of the 6th inning. Buster Posey coming up for the Giants. The full moon, according to Ray Brown, who works here at the ballpark, and he's our moon guy. He gives us all the moon phases. The actual official full moon was last night.
He's the moon guy?
He's the moon guy.
I thought Greg Minton was the moon guy.
No, that's the moon man.
Oh, okay.
So this is the day after the full moon. It's +1 waning gibbous. 41,760 sellout crowd at AT Park this evening. And Urena gets Buster to chase. It's 0-2. Buster took the ball hard twice for singles to left and has walked once. He's been on base 3 straight times. He's quickly behind in the count here against Urena. 0-2. Just got a piece of that one. Brandon Belt on deck. Hunter Pence due up 3rd in the inning. The Giants lead 6-1.
It's really weird at a disadvantage when you're hitting off a guy for the first time. You don't know the break on his breaking ball. He puts good location on it. I mean, you're going to lose. It's the price of education.
Right center field. Into the wide open spaces, but there goes Stanton. And that's a spot where would-be big flies go to die in this ballpark.
Well, the right fielders play well off the line, and I think that the Marlins are one of the teams that really stretch the right fielder, play him towards the right center field gap. And this is just an extra base hit that got taken away because of where they played him prior to the pitch. High backhander, thing of beauty. Good at bat.
Brandon Belt. Ball 1. Belt has singled home a run, been called out on strikes, and then he singled and scored a run his last time. By the way, the MLB at bat app said that ball left Buster's bat at 102 miles per hour. 2-0 to Belt.
And when you're backswinging the ball like that, I mean, you're hitting the bottom part of the ball. So I don't think you're going to get the high velocity with a backspin fly ball the opposite gap that you are when you hit a one-hop topspin seam to the third baseman, which he did earlier in the game at 107.
So it's 3-1 now to Brandon Belt. The Dodgers were beaten tonight in Colorado 7-5 Rockies. Brandon Barnes hit a 2-run triple in the last of the 8th inning to break the tie. Right to D. Gordon. Plenty of time. And Belt is gone. 2 away. Pittsburgh leads Arizona 8-5. Last of the 8th in Arizona. San Diego playing down at Petco Park. The Padres, who come here Monday for a 3-game series, are leading the Cardinals 3-1 in the last of the 6th inning. Hunter Pence takes a called strike.
Kind of wrap that breaking ball and kind of went around the pitch.
Oh, he crossed up the catcher to look like.
Yeah, I don't think Real Muto really appreciated that. That's how you hurt your catcher. You say, well, how can you get crossed up with nobody at second base and you're putting down one sign? That's a great question. Real Muto's wondering the same thing.
1-2. Now Pence has a chance to beat this out. No throw. An infield hit for Hunter Pence. His second hit of the night.
We get a few of those every year. Kind of rolls over a little slider or a cutter in the outside corner. The third baseman, Dietrich, I mean, he's playing deep. You have to play deep. Just a guy with the power that Hunter Pence had. But once that thing goes down the ground with his speed, take a bite out of it. Not a lot of backswing there either, so he gets out of the blocks pretty well. And that's 4.3 speed for a guy 6'4", 235.
So Pence with the infield hit. Brandon Crawford, ball one. Now, Hunter Pence in his 2 previous full seasons with the Giants, 2013 and 2014, had 22, 23 infield hits each one of those seasons. So that's a real part of his game. And usually it's like leadoff type guys that, you know, Angel Pagan or Bernard Span, people like that you expect will have that many infield hits. Two and one to Brandon Crawford, who's been walked intentionally in each of his previous 2 trips to the plate in front of Jeff Samardzija. That kind of backfired on the Marlins back in the 5th inning when Samardzija, with the bases loaded, singled home a run, and then the next 2 Giants, Pagan and Span, also singled home runs. Here's Samardzija on deck. 2-2 the count to Brandon Crawford. 6-1 Giants. Back beneath us into the second deck. 2-2. Remember, tomorrow's game is a 6:05 start here at AT Park. And on CSN Bay Area, Giants pregame live starts at 5:30. Jake Peavy will go for the Giants against the outstanding young right-hander of the Marlins, Jose Fernandez. Crawford just got a piece of that one. Sunday afternoon at 1:05, Matt Cain versus young lefty Adam Conley. There's Kaner, as his teammates call him. 2-2. Down the right field line. Pence has some speed. Off the pillar. Pence is going to stop at third. The ball is dropped on the relay by D. Gordon.
But again, Roberto Kelly knows the scout report, not just on Giancarlo Stanton's arm. As good as Stanton's arm is, D. Gordon's arm is better. It might be the best arm in the league. So anytime Gordon picks up a relay, I mean, you better make sure if you're going to challenge that. Remember how far over towards right center that the Marlins will play Giancarlo Stanton. So with 2 outs, you know that Pence is going to get a good jump. And they do a heck of a job to hold him from not scoring.
Now Samardzija, who knocked in a run with a single his last time. Now batting with runners at second and third, 2 down. And Urena wants to speak directly to the catcher, Real Muto.
Well, back in the 5th inning, bases loaded. This is a big swing of the bat for the Giants. A little cutter from Jared Cosard, and he goes the opposite way with it. And it opened up the inning. The Giants will score 3.
One ball and no strikes. Nick Whitgren starts warming up in the Miami bullpen. That's a base hit down the left field line. And extra bases. Pence scores. Crawford right behind him. It's a stand-up double for Jeff Samardzija. 8-1 Giants. Samardzija has 3 RBIs tonight.
That's going to be quite a battle all year long between Samardzija and Madison Bumgarner as to who can have the bragging rights as the best pitcher on this club. Gets a good pitch to hit, puts a good swing on it. and just rakes it down the left field line. An easy score for Hunter Pence, Brandon Crawford. Have a night, Jeff Samardzija. Welcome to San Francisco. You demand. Yeah, that'll make a skipper smile. So Samardzija in his debut in San Francisco, he had 3 starts on the road before he finally got in the home uniforms. And he's been great with the arm and with the bat tonight.
This may be a record for him. He had 10 RBIs in his career in 162 at-bats before tonight. Now he's had 3 RBIs in the 1 game, just his last 2 at-bats. So Pagan will come up. It is, by the way, Matt Chisholm has confirmed it, a career record for Samardzija, 3 RBIs. And he smoked that ball. 104 miles an hour off the bat for Jeff Samardzija, according to the MLB at-bat app. Dietrich, and he's got it. But the Giants add 2 more runs. Jeff Samardzija knocked him in. He'll go back to the mound with an 8-1 lead.
Everything orange and black. Check out pregame live and postgame live before and after every regular season Giants telecast on CSN Bay Area, authentic Bay Area sports.
We head into the late innings. Giants are out in front 8-1 here over Miami on 2 flaps down night. Looks like it's a pretty popular giveaway.
I love it. A Sharks fan.
So Jeffrey Leonard kind of made that one work. He's here tonight. Got a big ovation for the crowd earlier. A lot of people are putting those hats to pretty good use tonight. Cooler night than we've been having.
We're going to be seeing those things the rest of the summer. Are you kidding?
Here's Derek Dietrich to lead off against Jeff Samardzija. Threw 91 pitches through 6 innings. He's right at 15 pitches per. He's allowed 1 run. He's knocked in 3 as Pagan gives chase. Pulls out of play. Into a sea of those 2 flap down hats. 2 flaps down hats.
They're hysterical.
Dietrich is fouled out to third and struck out looking. And that's a foul down the right field line.
Look out. She's nice and warm. Oh yeah. Could be a first Giants game. Welcome to the club.
On to the count. Right on the hands. Buster hurries back. Nope, not quite. That ball was not hit very high in the air.
Yeah, just not enough time to get back and make a play.
Echeverria, the 8th place hitter, is on deck, and then the pitcher is due up third. Urena, so I'm sure we'll see a pinch hitter. Marlins have somebody up in their bullpen. 8-1, the Giants are leading. 13 hits for the Giants. And a foul out of play off the left field line, well back into the second deck. Dietrich hanging tough. Giants got 3 runs in the very first inning, knocked in by Duffy, Belt, and Crawford. Miami got a run in the 4th inning, knocked in by Bohr. The Giants got 3 in the 5th. Samardzija knocked in one of them. Into the defense, Brandon Crawford on the right side of the infield throws out Dietrich. One away. It's a ground ball to the second base position, handled by the shortstop. How do you put that in your scorebook?
6-3.
So then if you look back at it, you just remember that he was over on the other side.
Well, you could. Me, it's into the abyss.
Yeah, the ground ball to the shortstop. And there's a ball too high to Echeverria. Echeverria is grounded out to third and lined out to Brandon Belt at first. Called a strike. 1-1 the count.
You know, as we got to know Jeff Samardzija, I mean, it's something we need to remember next year when he comes to camp. Like a lot of power arms. I mean, they usually start out slow, and their springs aren't that great. But what we've seen from Samardzija since the last start that he had here against the A's and then into the season, he really brought that fastball, and he brought finish to the two-seam fastball and the cutter, and a high velocity to the cut. And it takes a guy a while to build up arm strength to do that.
Ooh, that was close. 2-2. Whitgren warming up in the bullpen, the right-hander. Ichiro is on deck.
Tried to go front door with a slider, just a bit inside. That was pitch number 100 for Samardzija.
Brandon Crawford. That's all for Echeverria.
Still getting lots of ground balls late, which means his finish is still sinking.
So here comes Ichiro.
Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro, a part-time player now at age 42. 7 hits, 18 at bats, a 389 average. He is 1 hit away from tying Frank Robinson for 33rd on the all-time hits list. Frank Robinson, a great Hall of Famer. He has 2,942 career hits in the major leagues. Strike 2 call. Ichiro, combined between his days in the Japanese leagues, has 4,220 hits.
Hard worker, still in tremendous shape.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Yeah, that was strike 3. He just didn't get it. Really can't fault Glover. He's had a nice zone tonight, been very steady, but this was right there in the outside corner.
That's a foul out of play. Ichiro also has 499 career stolen bases in the major leagues. And there are just 7 players in Major League history who've had a combination of 2,900 hits and 500 steals. One of them is in the Marlins dugout, the hitting instructor, Barry Bonds. Right to Brandon Belt. And Ichiro hustling up the line, and Belt had to hurry over there. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning. 7 strong in the books for Jeff Samardzija. Top of the order coming up with the Giants.
Include all sports. Tonight is golf night here at the Yard. It is presented by the LPGA Swingin' Skirts Classic, and Julie Inkster, a Hall of Famer, is with us this evening. She's a stud, and she's a Bay Area native. Folks who purchased the special event ticket got a Julie Inkster bobblehead, and proceeds from ticket sales benefit nonprofits in the golf community. She's great. We love her. Gentlemen.
Huge Giants fan, Julie Inkster. 7 majors won in her career. She's an all-time great. Pitching change for the Marlins as we go to the last of the 7th. And Nick Whitgren has come in. He was recalled from AAA 3 days ago from New Orleans. Made his major league debut against Washington that same day. He was in 4 games in New Orleans. And you see his numbers last year in AAA at New Orleans.
Well, they were fantastic. 64 strikeouts and 62 1/3 with 8 walks. Last Tuesday, made his major league debut against Washington. And he's got a low 90s sinker. You know, he can cut it. You'll see more sink than cut. He's also got a slider and a changeup.
Denard Span, the leadoff man. Ball 1. Span has been on base 3 times in 4 trips to the plate. The one time he did not reach base, he got credit for a sacrifice bunt. He's had 2 singles and a walk. A run batted in, a run scored. Foul tip, and the count 1-1. Joe Panik is on deck. Matt Duffy due up 3rd in the inning. Nick Whitgren, he's out of Purdue University.
That's good sink. See a guy who's got good sink like that on the fastball, and he's averaging about a strikeout an inning. That's a special arm.
He was always a closer at Purdue. He holds the Purdue career records for saves and strikeouts per 9. Out of play off to the left. He's been in the minor leagues each of the last 4 years, and this is his 5th year and up to the big leagues. Nick Whitgren. He's from Southern California, from Torrance. That's maybe a little high, maybe a little off the outside. 3-2. You ever been to Torrance?
Oh, yeah.
Did you love it?
No.
3-2 the count. Ooh. Well, a pretty discriminating eye there by Denard Span. He took a couple of close ones and got a walk.
Well, MLB TV.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you can have. Well, everything you've come to expect and lots more. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Go to MLB.TV for details. Hey, we got action in McCovey Cove. That's right out of Torrance.
That's called strike to Joe Panik. Panik has had a single, his first at bat of the night. He singled and fueled that 3-run first inning rally. Scored one of the runs. Since then, he's grounded out twice and struck out looking once. So he's 1 for 4 in the game. 8-1 Giants. And the foul ball. By the way, those last 2 pitches to Span that looked so close, the Pitch FX on the MLB at bat app showed that absolutely correct calls by Brian Gorman. Each one was 3 inches or so off the outside.
Yeah, he's done a good job tonight.
It's along the left field line and foul into the Giants bullpen. Yelich gave chase.
Whoops. Stay in the stands. Oh, that's a pretty good play right there. He was not going to be denied.
Denard Span was running hard on that pop-up just in case it fell in fair territory, so he had to cut back across the field to first base. They're not holding against him with the score 8-1. We're in the last half of the 7th. 1-2 from Whitgren to Joe Panik. Whitgren in his second major league game. The first game, he faced one hitter and walked him. He's walked the first hitter that he faced in this game. So it's very important for him to start throwing some strikes here at some point.
Yeah, but he's not missing by much. I mean, he's just shaving the outside corner. Some umpires will give those strikes. And you look at how a guy's missing. I really can't call him wild.
Bohr, Whitgren covering. And over the second goes Denard Span. Panik is now 1 for 5. And here comes Matt Duffy to the plate. Duffy hit a sacrifice fly to knock in the first run of the night for the Giants. And he's hit 3 consecutive ground balls to the shortstop since then.
He's feeling it. Full Moon Fridays. Very much within the theme of the weekend. Orange Fridays.
That's in there for a strike. You think he has somebody do that for him? Does he go to some kind of a spa where they do the orange skin tone for him, or does he do that himself?
I just think he jumps in a bathtub of Cheetos, rolls around a couple times, and heads to the yard.
Or just eats the Cheetos and keeps wiping his hands on his hair.
It's a good effort.
Oh, to the count to Duffy.
You should recognize him. He's the principal of Half Moon Bay High School.
And that is all for Matt Duffy.
Well, he was guessing. He wasn't guessing fastball.
So now Buster Posey. Buster has been hitting the ball hard tonight. 3 times the ball has left his bat at well over 100 miles per hour, and he's had 2 singles and a fly ball out to deep right center. He also has walked. So he's been on base 3 times, and officially 2 hits, 3 at bats. Runner at second, Denard Span. 8-1, the Giants on top. Called a strike at the knees. Giants have faced a couple of pitchers now that they've never faced before. Urena, who came out of the 5th inning in relief of the starter Cozart, and now Whitman here in the 7th. 0-2 to Buster. Right to board, and that retires the side. Orange Friday in San Francisco. On to the 8th. 8-1 Giants. Coverage on Sportsnet Central every night at 10:30. CSN, authentic Bay Area sports. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Giants baseball on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network tonight. And here is the top of the order. Jeff Samardzija still in there facing D. Gordon. And ball 1. The Giants bullpen for the first time has action. Barry Bonds returning home as the hitting instructor of the Marlins. Received a couple of nice ovations earlier. Up the first base line, foul. A ball and a strike to Gordon, who's had 1 hit, 3 at bats.
It's been a good pitch for Samardzija tonight against Gordon. He's had hard slider out of the strike zone, down and in. He broke him down in a 2-strike swing in his last at bat, and here he gets him to go out of the zone. So not really picking it up very well right now.
Wow, a beauty. Slider on the outside, 1-2. Pitch number 109 for Jeff Samardzija, who's pitched a great game, and he's also hit a great game. He's had a single and a double and 3 runs batted in. Into the crowd off to the left.
But I think one of the things you have to do if you're going to lead the league in hits and win a batting crown is you've got to be able to fight off good pitches and beat mistakes. And this is one of the things that he does well. He turned into a pretty good little 2-strike hitter.
Two and 2. Derek Law, the right-hander, has joined the veteran left-hander Javier Lopez in the bullpen. Mark Gardner, bullpen coach, keeping an eye on him. In the air, and Denard Span takes it. So Gordon 1 for 4 in the game. And here comes Real Muto, the catcher. Seeing the out-of-town scoreboard there, the San Diego leading the Cardinals 4-1, last of the 8th down at Petco Park. Padres here Monday night. 3 games, Monday and Tuesday nights and Wednesday afternoon. Real Muto is 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 straight times against Samardzija. Blew it right by him. Still throwing 94-mile-an-hour heat on his 113th pitch of the game.
I do not think he gets tired at 113. I think he's got 130, 135 pitches in that arm easy.
Wow. Beauty right at the knees. Strike 2.
Samardzija is a big man. I mean, he is a big, strong guy with shoulders built for innings.
That's high and foul and out of play.
The average fastball tonight, 94. The average cutter at 92. I mean, those are exceptional. And throw many splits, but they've been in there at 85, and the slider at 84. Thrown a few more sliders and splits tonight than he has in previous starts. Got underneath that one.
And then he asks for a new ball. One ball, 2 strikes to count to Real Muto with Christian Yelich on deck. 8-1, the Giants ahead here in the 8th inning. Struck him out.
I got underneath a couple pitches and missed him up and sort of cleansed the palate of the eye. Here he just drives right through the outside corner at the knees with 2-seam movement and sends Real Muto packing. Good pitch.
And here comes Bruce Bochy. 2 down. Samardzija at 117 pitches. Bochy's got the left-hander. Lopez ready, and he made the call for him. And the fans here ready to offer some appreciation to Samardzija in his first home effort as a Giant. And here's the ovation for Jeff Samardzija. Quite a night. First Giant start in his new home ballpark, and It was memorable. 7 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed, 3 runs knocked in with the bat. As Javier Lopez throws a called strike to Christian Yelich. Yelich was the one guy who seemed to be able to get it going against Samardzija tonight. He hit 2 doubles and has scored the Marlins' only run. A ball and a strike.
You know, Jeff Samardzija's night, 7 2/3, 1 run allowed, 5 strikeouts. And I mean, he's charismatic. I mean, without even doing anything good. He has absolutely impressed the folks here in San Francisco making his home debut. With his arm in the back. He's going to like it here. And they're going to like him.
It's smoked down the right field line. It's a fair ball right into the first archway. And Pence had a hard time handling the Karen. I don't know that it would have made that much difference. Yelich is a very fast runner, and that's his 3rd consecutive double.
He can hit just a hanging, breaking ball right out middle in at the belt, and watch the elbows just completely collapse and the hands free up and snap the bed head through the ball. I mean, that's just a beautiful swing. You know, and he's really a line drive hitter. I mean, he's not a home run guy. I mean, he's going to hit for average. He's going to be a gap to gap guy. He's going to hit a lot of doubles. Boy, I could watch that swing all night long. That's a great swing.
Yelich began the night with the 3rd best batting average in the National League, and he's had 3 hits and 4 at bats. Now Javier Lopez, having given up the double to a left-handed hitter, faces one of the most fearsome right-handed hitters in the game, Giancarlo Stanton. Lopez has not had that magic against the left-handed hitters so far this year. That double by Yelich, the 6th hit in 12 at bats by lefties against Lopez. He's got 2 quick strikes on Giancarlo Stanton.
I think Stanton's going to wear that piece on his helmet that protects his face the rest of his career after the incident. He got hit in the face with a fastball. Scary moment. The way that he got hit, I don't believe that he could take another hit the same way. So, protective piece. Got the leather G on it. It's a pretty cool piece, I have to admit.
Two and 2. Stanton is 0 for 3, has grounded out twice and has hit a deep fly ball to center, caught in the warning track by Denard Span. Two down, Yelich at second. Another lefty, Bohr, is on deck. Foul tip into the glove of Posey. He struck him out. Brandon Belt and Hunter Pence coming up for the Giants. go to the last half of the 8th inning. Jeff Samardzija. He did it all tonight for the Giants, including with the bat. That was a bases loaded single to right in the 5th inning to knock in a run. And then in the 6th inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Two-run double for Samardzija there.
Well, he was very good at the plate. He was better on the mound. And what a great way to introduce yourself to the city of San Francisco. The way that Jeff Samardzija did tonight. He was fantastic.
Brandon Belt leads off against Whitgren. And it's out of play. Belt has singled home a run, struck out, singled and scored, and grounded out. And caught by Echeverria.
Nice play. Let's take a look at the night for Jeff Samardzija and break down as to how he did it. This great finish, and the cutter was so explosive early with great location. Then he'd go to the other side of the plate away from lefties with a two-seam fastball. When you break down D. Gordon with a slider like that, that's a heck of a pitch. He elevated the fastball above the hands, sent Bohr packing, and then he got real Muto his last strikeout of the night with just pure paint in the outside corner. So you get a power arm like that that has great finish on the fastball on the cut, and to be able to locate like he did tonight, you have to be pretty excited about it. But he also threw a slider. Be like he's throwing the circle change now. He changed the grip. He was throwing a fork ball. But a good night.
Hunter Pence has walked, doubled, bounced to the pitcher, and had an infield hit. He's been on base 3 times. Giants had 13 hits all told, and they received 7 walks. A lot of base runners for the Giants in this one.
Well, they did what they had to do. They set the table a lot. And when you're slumping, that's the key ingredient to get going. Sooner or later, you're going to punch through with a couple of base hits, and they certainly did tonight. But it was getting guys on base consistently, keeping the line moving, getting walks, getting base hits.
Two and two to Pence. And out of play. Brandon Crawford on deck. Giants trying to get the big bats in the middle of the order rolling. And it's a foul. Very high in the air, out of play off to the right.
Well, tonight's a pretty good start. I mean, they had 6 hits between the 3 of them. Posey, Belt, Pence. Each guy with a couple of hits.
Right back to Whitgren. And Pence hustling up the line. It's thrown out. 2 down. So here comes Brandon Crawford. Buster Posey, almost like he's nodding as if to say, coming around.
Well, he's got to be feeling pretty good about his swing tonight. He had great balance in his hacks all night long. Used the whole field.
Brandon Crawford hit a double his last time up there after being walked intentionally in consecutive trips to the plate. He also got an RBI in the first inning on a force out. So officially 1 hit, 2 at bats, but he's been on base 3 times. 2 down, nobody on. Giants have Michael Broadway warming up in the bullpen with an 8-1 lead here in the last of the 8th inning. That ball is smoked. Deep right. It is off the wall. Stanton with the strong arm. Overthrows second base. That was grabbed by Whitman, the pitcher, in front of the third baseman. A double for Crawford, his second straight double.
On base 4 times tonight. 2 walks, 2 knocks, and here he gets a fastball middle in and absolutely smothers it. Let's watch the fly of the ball. Stanton plays this ball pretty well. And with his arm, you'd never know. A little bit lower, it'd been a close play. But a nice night with a bat for Crawford.
Now, here's Connor Gillespie, just brought up for the minors today, pinch hitting for Javier Lopez. Yelich and Gillespie was not up there very long. 1 hit, 1 left. On to the 9th inning. Broadway will come in. Giants 8, Miami 1. Go to the 9th inning here on a Friday night in San Francisco. There's number 57, Michael Broadway, in the pitch. Just up this week from AAA Sacramento. So this will be his second major league appearance. Hard throwing right-hander and a longtime minor leaguer who never gave up the dream. 10 years in the minor leagues for Broadway.
Oh, right out of the bat, he comes at you with a changeup. I mean, a guy throws mid-90s, has a reputation for high 90s, and you're not looking for a changeup first at bat. First pitch.
Justin Bour.
Up there gloveless, no batting gloves. How often do you see that?
And that's old school. He did it again.
2 perfect changeups. I mean, that was a project pitch for him last year. Look at those first 2. You're thinking he learned that one. Put that in the covey.
Right through the wide open left side. Giants had the overshift on, and nobody was at third base. So
Bour's got 2 hits tonight. Both times the Giants took his legs out in the swing, but I mean, his hands stay back. I mean, 3 good changeups in a row. This thing was off the plate. Hands stay back. It beats the defense. Watch the lower body go, the reach. I mean, he's covered about 8 inches off the plate away. Pretty good at bat.
2-hit night for Bohr. He knocked in the only Miami run with a single back in the 4th inning. Now Marcell Ozuna, who has struck out, singled, and lined out to short. One run, 8 hits for Miami. Broadway with parts of 11 seasons. It wasn't until his 11th year in pro ball that he made it to the big leagues with the Giants. Last year he got into 21 games. One ball, one strike. He was very candid about those early years. He said he realized at some point that he maybe wasn't taking it seriously enough. That he wasn't as dedicated as he should be to getting better. A check swing and no, says first base umpire Mark Carlson on the appeal. No swing.
Well, when we first saw him last year, I mean, he was throwing literally high 90s, occasionally in the hundreds. And we're thinking, well, how is it even possible for a guy with this type of stuff to take 10 years to get to the big leagues? But he's in great shape, worked hard, and here he is.
That was nasty. 2-2.
He's really throwing good, showing good off-speed stuff here. The changeup and the breaking ball.
Congratulations to the San Jose Sharks. They eliminated the Los Angeles Kings in their first round Stanley Cup playoff series with a 5-3 win tonight, and they won that series 4-1.
Congratulations indeed. Now they wait to see who they play in the next round.
Oh, they added a goal, an empty net goal, in the waning seconds of that game. 6-3 was the final. Three and 2 the count now to Ozuna. Dietrich is on deck.
Just the second appearance of the year for Broadway. He's still getting his sea legs, but he also knows with a 7-run lead here, you don't want to walk anybody. So this should be a pretty good pitch to hit.
Wow. Struck him out.
Then again, you can throw a nasty slider out of the strike zone and hope he chases. I mean, this thing's exploding down for an aggressive hitter like Ozuna, who's facing Broadway for the first time. I mean, he's paying the price of the education. Just pure power. You can see where he gets his power from, looking at the lower body. He's a very strong-legged pitcher.
So here's Dietrich. He has fouled out to third, struck out, and grounded out to short. One ball, no strikes. Joe Paddock. There's one. Crawford to first. Double play. Ball game over. Wow, what a double play that was. Started brilliantly by Joe Paddock, and the strong throw from Crawford to finish it up.
Can't get hurt, boys.
For the Giants, losing streak is over. They have lost 5 in a row, 8 of their last 9. And on this Orange Friday, they rode the strong right arm of Jeff Samardzija and his bat as well. And several other bats. Giants banged out 14 hits in this one. We'll be back with more from AT&T Park. 8-1, the Giants over Miami.